Alright, let's try this again. But this time with a webcam. Babel's the time trial mode at Cath in full body. It was the same thing in Cath in Classic that Ghoul's done in twice, I believe. So this time around we actually have items to work with, but we have the same 4 stages to deal with. Thanks to the miracle of PS4, you can actually rebind your buttons, which is what I have done. Player 1 is this controller, and it uses this half. Player 2 uses this controller, and it uses this half. On PC, I've bound both of them to one controller, and they each use half of it, but this is about the closest thing you can get to that. It doesn't matter, it's a legal way to play the game because it's within the system settings, and there's no rule against it because I've made the rules, and I don't see why anybody would be against this. Anyway, without further ado, we'll start Alter in 3, 2, 1.
Let's go!
You could play this with 2 separate people, but the thing is, you kind of have to have friends that tolerate this game, which I don't.
I'm gonna do it.
Yeah, man.
So we're gonna skip through this cutscene real quick.
3, 2, 1, fight.
We're off to a great start. New record.
Good thing about Catherine Full Body, unlike Catherine Classic, is that the levels are the same at the beginning every time. So you can get started really quickly, but then you're up to random chance whether or not your run keeps going. So far this is looking pretty good, honestly. Oh, that was kind of a long level before. 5 didn't last very long though. One really annoying thing about this version of the game is that they removed the ability to move the camera, because before, if you're playing Catherine Classic, you would really enjoy moving the camera to see what you're going to be up against next, but they decided that was a feature that didn't need to be in here. I assume it's because only player 1 could control the camera, and it just made everything hell for player 2, but it's still a detriment not to have it. Also, that was really, really bad at me. I'll just use a drink here because that's a really awkward pattern. And we'll use a drink here because there's not really much room left. And that's Alter within 600ths of a second of my best time.
They just beat the altar.
This stage usually goes anywhere between my best time and 2.5 minutes, so that was a really, really good stage.
Altar. Many.
Let's go!
So we'll move on over to Menhir, which it's similar to Alter, but you have a very narrow tower, and it also introduces spike blocks.
I'm gonna do it.
You cannot stand on the spike blocks for very long, or you will get spiked.
1, 3, 2, 1, fight.
New record.
Here it goes.
Get up, thank you.
New record. New record. New record. New record. What's our challenger going to do? New record. New record. New record.
Let's move that over here, because that seems like to be a better idea. Most of the time, I see solutions like after I've already started moving a block, which kind of sucks, but sometimes that's not the case. Oh boy, there's still more assault, but nothing I can really do about it. Random walls. Vince do in this situation? He could do something like this. Get up like that, and now this should actually start doing work again. It kind of sucks when your players are off cycle, or not off cycle, they're out of sync with their drinks. So that means I kind of have to make sure that whatever I do with the next player, or whoever's in the lead, it can be done with the second player as well. Here, that should be a too high wall. That should be fine. Oh, why did I just waste that? Okay. That's not good. That is definitely no bueno. Oh well, I'm gonna have to live with it.
That's 70 steps. New record. New record. New record.
Please. This game likes dropping inputs a lot. I really shouldn't have done that on top of that spike either.
New record. New record. 80 steps. Amazing.
Do this. So. This is getting real sketchy real quick.
Here's the 100th step. New record, new record, new record. New record, new record, new record. Move me to tears. I haven't been this excited in a while.
Let's go up like this.
New record, step counter just hit 110.
I really probably didn't want to do that, but this guy can get out of here just fine. It's up to Vince to try to find his own way now, which is not going to be fun for Vince. Not fun at all. I can just make the whole thing fall. Alright, there's Manir. That was a really sketch Manir, but if I didn't waste a drink, we would have been okay.
That was an excellent run.
Ooh, that was
Try to
pretty
move that up so the
impressive.
timer's not covering it at least.
Many
Let's go!
Obelisk. I don't know why they did it in this game, but they've removed basically all the challenge of it. In the original, you had Monster Blocks and Mystery Blocks story about. You still do in solo, but
Yeah, man.
not in pairs for whatever reason. I guess they thought it was too hard to do.
5, 3, 2, 1, 5.
But or they couldn't implement a way their new mystery and monster blocks worked with this. But either way, it's a cakewalk now. It's just an altar with ice.
New record.
Most of the time I like only moving one character at a time so I know the other character's not going to die. That's a really nice thing to know, that they're just not going to die.
New record. 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 60 steps. New record.
One thing I kind of want to do at this point is try to make the stage a little bit wider, because now it's going to start splitting into two. And the wider the stage is, the less likely it is for blocks to fall from the last piece. And if blocks are falling from the last piece, it will not spawn the next piece. Which super sucks.
New record. New record. New record. Now reaching 80 steps. New record. New record. New record. New record.
Kind of need to be careful around ice, especially around an edge like that, because if you're not, then you'll just slide off, and that's game over.
We've passed 100
We'll
steps.
just use a drink here, because that's crack block is gonna screw us over if we do it.
New record. New record. New record. New record.
It looks like it wants to screw us over regardless of what happens here.
New record. New record. New record. The step counter just hit 110.
No, we'll use another one.
New record. New record.
Him anyway.
New record. New records. New record. How does one maintain such concentration? That's 120 steps. New record. New record. New record. New record. New record. Beautiful climb. New record. New record. New record. Here's 100 new steps. New record. New record.
I'm gonna have to find a way over there, but Vince can get up, but Sheep is gonna have a little bit of a hard time.
New record. New record.
There we go. 357, that's not too bad.
They just finished the obelisk. All I can say is, wow.
I don't like looking at my time while I climb, because it just starts discouraging me that I'm not at a certain point at a certain time. But now we'll just go on to the last stage.
Obelisk. Axis.
Let's go!
Axis Mundi. The entire gimmick of this stage is it wants you to make something out of nothing, because this stage has a lot of holes and you're expected to make floor and stairs and all this.
Yeah, man.
All the good stuff that makes you climb towers.
5,
3, 2,
But it's the last stage, so.
5.
new record. New record. New record. The final stage of the new record. 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 That black hole sucks you in. It's game over. New record. 20 steps. New record. New record. New record.
Okay, so what I just pushed away there was a dark hole block, and if you step on that, you are basically screwed.
New record.
Not exactly what I wanted, but fine.
New record. 30 steps. New record. 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 That's 40 steps. New record. New record. New record. New record.
Let's see. I probably want to push all this away so it resembles some sort of cohesive stage here.
New record. New record. New record. Now at new record. 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 60 steps. New record. New record. New record. New record. They keep climbing up together as a remarkable team. New record. 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 New record.
Please drink here. Because it's a little bit faster.
New record. 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 90 new steps. A new record.
There we go.
New record. New record. New record. New record. New record. New record. Steps. New record. New record. New record. New record.
I don't know what this accomplished. Accomplished that, apparently.
New record. New record. New record. 110
Go
steps.
a long way.
New record. New record. New record. New record.
Pull that so I can do this.
Still alive. New record. Climbing Babel. New record. New record.
It'd be best if, actually, it'd be best if Vince pulled this and then we did that thing I wanted to do. She don't do that.
New record. New record. 20 steps. New record. New record. New record. New record. New record. New record. New record.
So now Vince says,
New record. New record.
I'm gonna have to push that, alright.
New record. New record. New record. New record. And 140 steps. New record. New record. New record. New record. New record. We finally witness a pair of challenge. New record. New record. New record. New record.
I haven't been this excited
150
in a while.
steps.
He can get up, but Vince is gonna have to find his own way up.
New record. New record. New record.
Got a long way in this one.
New record. This long new record.
Time. 8:38, that's not too bad. Not in my usual playing position because I usually have these in my lap, but anything sub 20 is very, very respectable. Anything lower than that is great. This is a fairly nice axis. Anything lower than like a sub 530 is a really, really good axis. But other than that, yeah, it's a very quick category compared to everything else in the game that takes a minimum a minimum of an hour, so let's go ahead and end this.
Here I go.
Finally, we have a pair of universe-beating climbers.
You're amazing. Damn, that was some fancy footwork.
Thanks.